Cosplay Stitch and Seam. I'm Pannon.
And I'm David.
Hello.
Hello, Pannon.
Hi. Thanks for doing our last episode.
It was a blast. It was all the drama that I love about Eurovision, and I'm so grateful I got a chance to just exposit all of the drama that I love so much about Eurovision. And it's probably the most dramatic version of a Eurovision I have ever seen. They've never kicked somebody out during the finale. So
oh my goodness,
it was a big deal that Netherlands got kicked out. But
I mean, not fair, but fair.
Yeah, no.
Right? Yeah. Anyway. Well, I hope you guys at home are having fun, and whatever you're working on now, if you want to tell us about, I don't know, your project, I'm words today. I used them all up on Sunday.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah. If you guys want to reach out, tell us how you're doing, tell us what you're working on. Send us your scary stories, your wholesome stories. We love to hear it. And you can do that a number of ways. The first is our email, which is cosplaystitchandseam@gmail.com. Or you can go to our website, cosplaystitchandseam.com, and fill out it's not the googly form, is it?
No. Wow, that's a callback. Wow, what a callback.
A callback. I haven't done Mercedes lines in a while, so and fill out the form there and tell us your stories, or
go to the Facebook page.
Woo!
While you're on the Facebook page, tell us what you're working on, just like Pannon said, or tell us what's happening on your Work in Progress Wednesday, your Finished Friday, your Throwback Thursday, or just whatever you want. We love to see it, and if you're not a big fan of Facebook, we totally get that. I'm not a big fan either, so that's why we have the Discord. The Discord server has a whole channel dedicated just to horror stories and memes, and there's always some really great memes in there.
Yes.
I love them. And while you're on the internet, if you want to help out the show, there are many ways to do that. Share the podcast with a friend. Leave us a review wherever your podcast app lets you. That helps us out a lot. As well as we do have a Patreon, patreon.com/cosplaystitch. For $3 a month, you get a shout out on the show every single episode. And for $5 a month, you can join our
Cosplay Chronicles.
We've got one coming up pretty quickly here, and I am stinking excited. Hopefully we have all the players back at the table, because I've got some fun things planned. I've got specifically things planned for V-Fire's character.
I'm excited and terrified.
You should be. You really, really should be. You have all made attachments, and as a DM, that's my favorite thing.
We love a good attachment.
So yeah, go help out the show in any way that you can, and we're always appreciative of you just listening. Thanks so much.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I like playing, and I'm hoping some people like listening. So if not, at least I'm still having fun playing.
If anything, we enjoy making the attachments with you, the audience.
Oh, that's a good segue. That was nice. I kind of mentioned Sunday, but for today's episode, we're talking a little bit about fundraising and how to get started, where to go, what to do, all kinds of fun stuff about that. If you are a member of our Discord or our Facebook group, you might have seen recently I did a fundraiser with both Jaguar Quinn and Crest David here, where we were raising money for some sisters that were on the ground in Palestine and are giving out hygiene products, food, blankets, and all sorts of things to people in need, which you can actually still donate to the GoFundMe that we linked. We stopped after our stream with our giveaways, but you can still go and donate and help those folks out. But yeah, we played some Baldur's Gate, we did some giveaways, we had some chats, we spun a wheel a lot. We had a name wheel, and we spun it a couple of times, and Pannon, myself, and Quinn had donated our own money, because we wanted to make sure that hey, we're putting our foot where our money where our wallet. What's the expression? I don't know what the expression. Where our faces are.
Yeah, something. I don't know. So we put some money in and like we used those as spin agains, and the spin agains happened frequently enough. And there were some people who donated enough money that they're like, I don't want this thing. Can you give that to somebody else? So we would spin for them and then
double it and give it to the next one.
That was exactly it. But it was a great time. And I wasn't even on camera. I wasn't even mic'd at all. So it was really great for me of just like, I'm quiet, I'm sitting here and I can get up and stretch. But Bannon and Quinn were on the entire time. We took like 2 breaks for a 6-hour stream.
It was fun. It was good.
It was impressive. That's what it was.
Yeah. I'm excited to report too that we were able to raise over $500 toward that charity. And just wanted to do like a special shout out to Jaguar Quinn for all of their help in setting it up and working with me, and well, of course, for David too. And for everyone that showed up to the stream and hung out with us and chatted, and it was just really fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it was a good time. But that leads us into what our episode theme is.
Yeah. So we wanted to talk about like kind of how you get started doing a fundraiser, if there is a cause that's important to you that you want to work on, if you want to, I think the first thing is like figuring out where you want to put all this time and effort towards, what charity, what people, what cause is it that you want to help. Because that can be an important one, and doing like the research ahead of time is more important than ever these days, I feel, because there's nothing worse than being like, I'm going to give to this charity, and then you find out that, I don't know, that they hate queer people, or that they secretly kick puppies, or
Man, I hate the charity of like, let's cure cancer and then let's kick the puppies.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy world we live in, but I feel like doing research is such an important part of looking for charities. I've had in the past worked on a couple where we were doing fundraisers and found out like halfway through that there was like some shady stuff going on with one of the charities, and we had to switch up who we were donating toward, and like I'm glad we were able to get it to all work out, but it was definitely like a lesson learned going forward. Like, make sure that the places you're giving to are legitimate, and do some basic Googling, please. But yeah, that's the important first step. And then I guess the next one would be like, what do you want your fundraiser to look like? For me, I am not a person, I know, standing here on my podcast soapbox, I must make millions of dollars, right?
Oh, yes, all of our brand deals.
No, but with so many brand deals, Fox Cosmetics paying us millions under the table.
Obviously, yes.
Obviously.
We've quit our jobs and we're full-time podcasters that can't even podcast once a week for you. It's a hard life we live.
Yeah. No, but I am a person who, works a full-time job, does like crafting part-time, where I like sell bags and stuff as part of my income, and then also like do podcasting and living where we live and the economy that we have. It is really hard to make ends meet and hard to get money together, so which is hard for me too, because like I have, I don't know, like, I don't want to like brag and be like, I have such a big heart. That feels like so two-faced. But like, I hate not being able to do something when I see people in need, Sure. And I'm sure it's the same for a lot of our listeners. And realizing that there are ways that you can help that aren't just opening your wallet, because that's not always an option for everybody. I think is really important. Like, not just for your own peace of mind, but like, it's important to know that it's not always money that's the thing that's needed. Like, for instance, when I was back in college, I was in the presidency of our anime club at our local college. And we, because any college club has to do a certain amount of like fundraisers or good works throughout the year to be a legitimate college club, which, is not terrible. It was something we enjoyed doing, but, our club didn't have a ton of money. We just showed up and watched anime for a couple of hours and talked about it like nerds. So we were like, well, what can we do? And finally we got together and like collected different fabric scraps from cosplayers and donated our time and our creativity into making quilts for some of the local hospitals that they could then gift to folks who were there for long-term illnesses. So there's all kinds of things that you can still do that aren't just money. I just want people to feel encouraged by that and not discouraged. If you are an influencer, someone who spends a lot of time, online talking about cosplay, using your talents in that way, performing, there are certainly ways that you can use that platform to do good. If you are, someone who just likes to maybe cosplay occasionally, but you're really good at props or you're really good at sewing. I mean, there's so many things that you could like help to like repair, do home repairs for someone who can't do that themselves. You could offer to, sew or hem a garment for someone who can't afford to do that. There are just all kinds of ways that I feel like, especially in our crafting community, that there are so many skills that are very much still needed,
Yeah, totally. And like it comes down to like Pannon said, it's not always about the money. It can be just about the time. Like think about the classic, I got to go spend time at the old folks home. That's just your time, right? Like that time is so temporary, and at the same time, like sometimes it's just a matter of showing up in one way or another. And this was an area that the three of us could excel at because Quinn has an amazing community, as well as our community was amazing to show up and support this thing. And that's just like, this is what we're good at. So let's enable that the energy that we have. And, maybe in the future, what we could do is something entirely different depending on the case of the situation that we want to support.
Sure, definitely. I want to encourage our community to go forward with that in whatever way is like both comfortable to them and within their means. I don't want anyone to feel like we're pushing them to do anything beyond what they're able to, But yeah, I too was feeling the financial pinch lately, and there are just like so many folks in need, and I was like, well, I make purses out of like leftover fabric in my spare time that usually most of it is donated to me from old wall scrolls, or I get remnant pieces so I can like upcycle older fabrics that were, maybe headed for a landfill, things like that. And so I was like, well, I don't have a lot of money, but I have all this fabric. I can make a couple things and we can do some giveaways with that. Yeah. Or in the past we've done like online auctions for items that went to charity. I don't know. I love going to like maker fairs and artist alleys and seeing like all these amazing handmade goods. That is always where I dump my money when I do have it. It's just so I feel like that's a good way to both use something that you're good at and your creativity and use that as a way to fundraise. But yeah, we've kind of bounced around ideas of like ideas you could do. But like, once you have those ideas, where do you get started?
Yeah. And I think that's like another part of it is like knowing what your resources are in not, again, the financial sense, but like how can you bring attention to this? What's the, who do you know that might be able to help?
Yeah.
So like, when you thought of this, you saw like, oh, Quinn is doing the streaming thing. Maybe it's something that they would be able to help me out with, or at least point me in a direction. And
Yeah.
obviously, you're not trying to use somebody's ability or time, but you are trying to see like, hey, you have experience with this. Is this something that you'd be interested in? That never hurts to
Yeah.
ask.
Yeah. And the way, at least for this recent one, the way I was approaching different streamers was as like, I don't even have to be in your stream. Like, I just want to, like, if I gift you this thing that I've made, would you want to or be able to do like some kind of giveaway with it to raise money for this thing that I'm trying to do?
Mm-hmm.
And it turned out like talking to Quinn was like a great idea, and they were very receptive, and luckily they were able to assist with all of the areas where I felt like I was weaker, as far as like designing graphics and reaching out to like some video game companies and what was it, we had like tabletop companies, things like that, and got all kinds of fun stuff. But that was the stuff I was like, I don't want to talk to people.
That is definitely something that like Quinn's autism is very good at, just like mask up and let's just do this thing. Let's just
them.
make it happen. So like from what I saw, and correct me if I'm wrong, you guys just kind of reached out to a couple different companies saying, hey, this is a charity stream. Is there something that you guys would like to donate?
Right. And I think for the most part, people are pretty generous when you do reach out. Not every company is going to be able to do that, but a lot of them are. A lot of them, all you really have to do is ask, and they have departments literally that are there to handle requests like that.
Mm-hmm.
I know for it, depending on the company, it's going to depend on what they can give. For a lot of them, though, it's important to have some kind of official looking address for your like website. You can do like a card, those CARRD websites. You can do like, if you have an official TikTok for your fundraiser, if you have, I mean, if you can afford to do a website, that's great. But like, just something that makes it feel a little bit more official, so they know they're not like giving away prizes just to some rando.
Yeah.
Is really helpful. Like, as much as you can do too. There are a lot of free resources online that you can use to set things like that up. Mm-hmm. Just to make sure that before you're approaching companies, things look as legit as possible. Yeah.
An not an Easter egg, but like a cool technique that I learned about is going to like Weebly and making a free website and then getting a Google domain to reroute to there, so it looks like you have an official thing and not www.charityforgoods.weebly.com. You could just give them the Google link, and then it looks really official, and they don't see the URL unless they're actively looking at the URL bar at the end.
Sure.
Like, yeah, there's other ways to like make sure that you do look official. One of the things that you guys did was create a email with the name of the charity kind of like vibe that you guys were going for.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was absolutely brilliant. And there were some people who were like, yeah, we'll give away some key games. We'll give away some game rules for tabletop games. And it was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it was super helpful. So I just want to like shout out that as an option. Setting up accounts for especially if you're planning on doing the charity like multiple times or running multiple fundraisers, starting out with some kind of official front-facing account is always super helpful. If you want to get deeper into that, I know in the States we have, you can set yourself up as a nonprofit organization, or a 501c3, I believe is the code for that. And that can actually open things up
when
to...
you said that, just like absolutely 501.
See, this is not my first rodeo, but it is a bit of paperwork to get started. doing something like that. A lot of times you'll have to speak with like a lawyer to do the paperwork and all the tax filings and things like that. But if you are trying to start a nonprofit organization, it's a really good way to open yourself up to have access to things like grants that can also help your fundraising or organization get off the ground, whatever that might look like wherever you're from. Not that we're like jumping that far ahead. We're probably looking at little fundraisers, but just so you know, you can expand all sorts of ways. Even if you're just doing, having problems with a I don't know, like flat tire on your car and it's not going to make it to next paycheck. There are ways to fundraise. I think David made a really good point about community, and I think asking for help is like one of the hardest, if not the hardest things. So just being able to be vulnerable enough to do that, I applaud anyone who does.
So we've figured out, okay, how do we, what area do we want to fundraise for? Finding the community that might be able to help us out. How do you gather funds? What's the easiest way to gather those funds?
Oh my gosh. That's such a hard question. What's the easiest way?
So I'll jump in, and like there's what we did for us for our giveaway was like send us a picture of your receipt, and we will add you to the drawing. So that way it straight to the source. And like I really like that because I don't know. Do you know who the completionist is on YouTube?
I've heard of them. Yeah.
His name's Gerard, and like he was really, really applauded. And a few years ago, he did a charity stream, much like we did, raising the money, and he collected the funds to then give that money to the charity. But he never did anything with the money, and it just sat in a bank account.
Oh no!
Now, that money was never touched, but he like it had sat there for like years.
Oh
so
my gosh.
I would. Depending on the type of charity work that you're trying to do, if you don't have the paperwork for a 503, subsection 239 or NC 1107, like it's just one of those things of like, it'd be easier to have something like it can go directly to that. Some charities even like will say, all right, here's how you can then create like a subsidiary account. So that way people can make a payment to us and it will still look like it came from you guys. Not that we're trying to go for tax breaks or anything along those lines. It's just purely, we know that it then came from your efforts and we want to applaud that.
Yeah, no, I think you make a really good point there because I tend to want to be hands off with especially cash, money, etc., as much as possible, because I have so many worries and anxiety about like, well, what if it gets lost? What if it's stolen out of my car before I can deposit it?
Car accident on my way to the bank.
Oh my gosh. Don't give me more things to worry about. So being able to direct someone just to a link and say, hey, donate here, and just tell us that you did it was super easy and just took away a lot of the worries that I had. I have done fundraisers that are like cash or other donations, and I think that's the most stressful thing for me is like making sure I have a deadline set up appointment or whatever to drop off the donation, because otherwise I just sit there filled with anxiety until I drop it off. Like last December, we did a food drive for a local food bank here, and which was great. We like managed to fundraise like I think over 100 pounds of food, which was awesome. Pretty small group, and I was like, we still managed to get that much. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But it was over the weekend, and I had to wait till Monday to go to the food bank. And so I was just sitting here going like,
Ugh.
okay, gotta keep some of the frozen stuff in my freezer until Monday. I gotta like make sure I go first thing in the morning as soon as they are open and drop it off on the way. Gotta make sure I get the receipt that says that we did it. Take a picture of the receipt, send that to our like charitable donations department. You know, all kinds of red tape with that. So yeah, just making sure especially if you're giving to like a larger organization and you know you don't want to deal with the money, make sure you know what their like policies are regarding donations, when you can drop them off, what kind of receipt you should expect as like proof of donation. It is pretty, I don't know, especially if your group is handling money of any kind, make sure you keep a paper trail, some kind of records of like how much money came in and where it's going. Just to cover your own behind. There are, there are so many ways online now to like run donation campaigns. There's like, I can't even remember them all. The only thing coming to my brain is GoFundMe, but I know there's other ones. Like Kickstarter, if you're like creating something, right? But you can also use that to set up a creative-based charity. There's if I swear I looked like 5 of them up just this last week, and my brain is mush. But yeah, goes into that like researching where you're giving. So if you are creating one from the ground up, just make sure that the site you're using is reliable, and also that they're not going to take too many fees out. Like GoFundMe will, when you're setting in a donation, like the website itself asks for a tip, like hey, like we noticed you're giving money to this charitable cause. Do you also want to give money to us? And you can say yes or no to that if you want to like help their website costs, I'm assuming. But not every fundraising website does that, and some just take it out of what is donated. So make sure you know what is going on with that, and make sure that both you and your community have transparency on that, so they know where their money is going to. There's so much red tape to consider with some of them. I'm just sorry, I just you give me the mic and I just keep going.
It's great. So we now know, okay, here's what we do with the money, at least in a light term. Talk to the charity, see how it's going to work best for them. Maybe they want to have a representative there. No, Google, I wasn't talking to you. Calm down.
But it wants to know all of your secrets.
It already does. I've bought into. I've bought into it. It knows all my secrets. I have none left. Google and we are symbiosis at this point.
Oh my gosh, this is true. I was like. So this is just a tangent, but like during the live stream, I was talking about Quinn's character that they had designed to play with in Baldur's Gate, and they had designed this like gorgeous tiefling, and I was talking about it, and some of the like terminology I was using, Google picked up because they were like, "Oh, do you like this specific thing?" And I was like, "How dare you come after me like this?"
But at the same time, shut up.
Right. Get out of here.
So we have found the cause. We found our community. We have found like how to raise the funds and where to move that. And maybe even the charity will help handle that. One thing that I don't think a lot of people realize is that when you do charity work, let's talk about Palestine for a moment, in the sense of, if we are talking about it, we kind of are bringing it up for ourselves every single time. And I don't want to call it a trauma, but there is a slight trauma of talking about big, heavy themes of, hey, disenfranchised people are not getting the support that they need. And that takes a mental toll on a lot of people. And then you have to be like present and active and excited about charity raising, and you use a lot of energy. So what does good aftercare look like for post charity, Panon?
Say as I'm recording an episode like less than 24 hours after we finished our
Exactly. One of those do as I say, not as I do.
I mean, like I love our listeners. I love our community. I love y'all. I am not an exuberant person when you meet me in real life, unless I am masking very heavily. So the first thing I do is I just want to sit in a quiet room and have very low stimulation for a couple of days. And that's mostly what I've done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I watch my comfort TV shows. I play video games. I go read some fan fiction. If I don't have the spoons, I don't cook. And I basically, what do they call the kids call it now these days? Rotting.
Yeah,
I rot in bed for a couple days.
Yeah, love a good bed rot.
Oh, I love a good rot.
Just frogs on a log over here.
Yeah. Oh man. But that's usually what my recovery self-care looks like. I guess rotting is less maybe healthy, but I mean self-care would be the best option, but sometimes rotting is the best.
It's what I did this morning, that's for sure. I called in sick. I took some time off. I focused on my energy, and I did some things around the house that would make me feel good about my living space, and played some video games, made a healthy dinner. I had pork, potatoes, and a fried.
Oh, that sounds good.
Broccoli with like a garlic rub. Oof. I was very, very pleased. But yeah, it is very important, like once you're all done with everything, to prioritize your health. Yes, you did an amazing thing. Yes, you worked really hard. Yes, the fight isn't over, and you are only one person.
Yeah, and I think that's what I see emphasized and re-emphasized in a lot of just how awful everything is going on, is like people think that you can like just do one big push, one big fundraiser, and that will save the day. And it's like, this is not a quick fix situation.
Yeah.
This is something that we have to, reinforce ourselves. We have to take care days. We have to, heal so that we can get back in it again.
Yeah.
And keep going and keep supporting. But you don't have to do that every single day. You don't have to live your whole life at the front of the parade march. You have to take some time. You have to be aware of like when you are feeling traumatized. You have to be able to, and we are lucky enough to be able to take a step back, but you are not going to get through this if you are not taking a moment where you can to heal. So please self-care, because we want everyone to be in this for the long haul. We want everyone to like keep working toward good changes in our society, in our community, and keep working toward a future that makes us all happy and safe. And yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I think
I need to take my own advice.
Yes. Same. I think that covers the start all the way to the end. Do you want to add anything else?
Oh man. I know we're going to get into the spooky in a minute, but this time when y'all like hit us up, like let us know if you're doing fundraisers. Let us know how you are like bettering your communities. Like let us know how you get involved, because we want to like promote that type of behavior too. We want to use our platform to give other people a platform. So yeah, share what you're doing with that. And on that note, maybe let's do something.
Horror stories, spooky.
on a completely different, like, emotional beat here, let's get a horror story.
Yeah.
What do we got today?
This one comes from Tim. Oops. Went to pick it up and grabbed the wrong thing. It looks like a lamp. Busted out the plastic. I guess I'll make a new piece to fit in here and mount it somewhere else. Put something in low profile in the front. This is what it used to do anyways. And he shows a video of it does look like a lamp at the connection point, and it looks like he grabbed it and just yanked, and the cabling is all running out, and it looks so heartbreaking. I'm so sorry,
gosh.
Tim.
There's nothing more disheartening than having like a piece that you're really proud of and then just seeing it crumble in a matter of seconds.
Yeah. That's my horror story right now, is like, I started a thing. I hate this thing. I gotta start over. I started another thing. I still hate this thing. I gotta start over.
Oh man, this is too relatable.
Yeah.
Let's see. Man. Well, thanks as always to Macy Roberts for the use of their music as our theme song, and to David Jeffress for Faye's amazing editing. How are your podcasts going, David?
There are, at the time of this recording, only 5 episodes left of The Last Voice for season 3. If you are not listening, what are you doing? What
are you doing?
It's getting serious. It's getting intense. The tension is really high. Also, for those of you who have listened, thank you so much for your help on reaching 100,000 downloads on The Last Voice.
Oh yeah, we need like an exploding, amazing sound for that one.
Yeah, I'll get the
Put it
editor
in
on
there,
that
David.
I'll
give you another
100,000 downloads. I'll put in like a nice applause or something.
That's so freaking cool.
It is really cool. So thank you so much, everyone who has been downloading and listening and providing feedback. It is much appreciated. And in my other podcast that I love just as much is Comic Trades Monthly. We just finished reading The Once and Future, very Arthurian. And next month we will be reading the first manhwa of Solo Leveling.
Oh, I have heard such good things about that one.
Holy crap, Pannon, it's so good. I watched the entire, it's only 12 episodes, and oh boy.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Also, I think this will be episode 194, so we're getting really close to our 200 episode mark. And we are very excited we're probably going to do a live stream, maybe.
Yes.
I'm kind of burnt out on live streams for a little while, but doing the bi-weekly has helped us a lot.
Yeah. Thank you guys for being patient with us as we go through that.
Yeah. So those are my big things. Thank you guys.
Yeah. Oh, before we go, I got like a fundraising pun for you.
Okay.
I made sure it was like fundraising specific.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, I don't know if you like follow every fundraiser, but did you hear about the clown that was doing a fundraiser?
No, I did not hear about this clown.
Yeah, it was a nice jester.
Oh.
All right.
Bye,
guys. Love you. A minute of me going like, and I'm the fire, and I'm like, wait, I'm not.